In the deep woodlands of North America, winter is not just a season, it is a siege. For months, the land is locked in iron-hard frost, and the forest stands silent, dormant, and gray. But as the angle of the sun shifts and the days begin to lengthen, a microscopic awakening begins long before the snow melts. Deep within the vascular systems of the hardwoods, a sweet, clear lifeblood begins to flow. This is the time of the sugar moon. And for the indigenous peoples of this continent, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Abenaki, this shift signals the start of the first and most critical harvest of the year. We are witnessing an ancient alchemy, a process of survival that predates history books, steel tools, and plastic tubing. This is the story of maple sugar, harvested not with industry, but with the raw materials of the forest itself. The science begins with the tree, the sugar maple, Acer saccharum. It is a biological hydraulic pump of immense power. During the summer, the tree's leaves turn sunlight into starch, storing it in the roots like a battery. As spring approaches, the freeze-thaw cycle triggers a reaction. Freezing nights contract the wood, creating suction that pulls water up from the earth. Warmer days create pressure, pushing the stored starch, now converted into sucrose-rich sap, up toward the branches to feed the budding leaves. It is this fleeting window of pressure, lasting only a few weeks, that the people must exploit. The technology of the harvest is born entirely from the landscape. There are no metal drill bits here. Instead, the tools are crafted from stone and bone. A master of the craft selects a location on the trunk, reading the bark to find the path of the sapwood, the cambium layer. Using a knife chipped from flint or obsidian, a diagonal gash or a precise hole is made. It must be deep enough to access the flow, but careful not to wound the tree permanently. The relationship is reciprocal. The tree provides, and the people respect. To guide the fluid out, nature provides the perfect conduit. Sumac or cedar branches are harvested. The soft pith in the center is pushed out, creating a hollow tube, a spile. Inserted into the cut, this wooden tap channels the sweet water out of the darkness of the tree and into the light. But catching the sap presents an engineering challenge. How do you store liquid without ceramics or glass? The answer is the paper birch tree. Birch bark is one of nature's miracle materials. It is waterproof, flexible, and rot-resistant thanks to a compound called betulin. Indigenous artisans craft mokuks, watertight baskets folded from single sheets of bark and stitched with the roots of the spruce tree. Sealed with a mixture of pine pitch and animal fat, these vessels are lightweight and durable, capable of holding the precious cargo. The work is physically demanding. A single maple tree might yield only a drop every few seconds. Pling, pling, pling. It is a slow, rhythmic accumulation. To make a significant amount of food, hundreds of trees must be tapped. The families move through the snow-laden forest, checking the mokuks, pouring the clear liquid into larger carrying vessels. It is a game of volume. The ratio is unforgiving. To produce 1 gallon of syrup, one must collect 40 gallons of sap. To make sugar, the ratio is even higher. This means tons of liquid must be hauled by hand, often through deep sludge and melting snow, back to the sugar camp. At the camp, the true transformation begins. Today, we use metal evaporators and propane. But how did the ancestors boil water without fireproof pots? They didn't put the pot on the fire. They put the fire in the pot. This is the technique of stone boiling. It begins with the stones themselves. Not just any rock will do. Sandstone or sedimentary rocks contain trapped moisture. If thrown into a fire, the expanding steam would cause them to explode like grenades. Instead, they choose dense igneous rocks, granite or basalt. These stones are piled into a roaring fire, heating for hours until they glow with thermal energy. The sap is poured into a large trough, often a massive log hollowed out by fire and adze. This is the boiling vessel. The fire tenders, using long wooden tongs, pluck the white-hot stones from the embers. With a hiss that echoes through the trees, the stone is dropped into the icy sap. The reaction is violent and immediate. The thermal mass of the rock transfers its heat to the liquid instantly. The sap boils, rolling and churning around the stone. Steam billows up, carrying away the water, leaving the sugar behind. As the stone cools, it is removed and replaced by another fresh from the fire. It is a continuous loop of labor, stones in, stones out. The fire must be fed, the stones must be cleaned of carbon and ash, the sap must be skimmed. This process continues for days and nights. The camp becomes a factory of steam. The air grows thick with the smell of wood smoke and caramelized sugar. As the water evaporates, the liquid thickens, the viscosity changes. It turns from clear water to a pale amber, and then to a dark, rich brown. But for the indigenous people, syrup was often not the end goal. Syrup is heavy, wet, and difficult to transport in birch baskets. The goal was sugar. By driving off almost all the moisture, the syrup is cooked down until it crystallizes. This maple sugar, solid cakes of concentrated energy, could be stored for years without spoiling. It was the ultimate survival food, light to carry and packed with calories to sustain hunters on long journeys or families through the lean times. The chemistry required to get the sugar to granulate without burning it is precise. It requires a watchful eye and an instinct honed by experience. The liquid bubbles becomes heavy and slow. If taken off the heat too soon, it remains sticky. Too late, and it scorches. When the moment is right, the thick magma is poured into wooden molds or stirred rapidly to create granulated sugar. This harvest is not just about calories. It is a spiritual and social anchor. The sugar camp is a place of community. After the long isolation of the winter months, families come together. Stories are told around the boiling fires. Elders pass knowledge to the youth, not just how to tap the tree, but why. They teach the gratitude owed to the forest. In a diet consisting largely of lean meat and dried fish, this influx of carbohydrates and minerals is a nutritional salvation. Maple sugar provides magnesium, zinc, and antioxidants. It is medicine as much as it is food. As the weeks pass, the nights grow warmer. The chemistry of the tree changes. The sap becomes cloudy and bitter as the tree begins to bud. The flow stops. The season of the sugar moon ends as quickly as it began. The tools are gathered. The birch baskets are stacked and stored or carried away. The stones, cracked from the thermal shock, are left in piles, archaeological markers that will tell the story of this camp for centuries to come. The forest returns to silence, but the people leave with their prize, the golden energy of the sun, captured by the trees, processed by fire and stone, and stored to fuel the coming year. This is a testament to human ingenuity. It is a reminder that technology is not defined by complex machinery, but by the ability to solve problems with the materials at hand. The indigenous method of maple harvesting is a perfect loop of sustainability. Nothing is wasted. The tree heals. The stones return to the earth, and the people survive, in harmony with the sweet rhythmic pulse of the waking spring.